All right. It's time to talk about that 50mm f1.8. What's going on, my peeps? Your man Versatile's back with another video. Back here to talk about the 50mm. Sony's full frame 50mm f1.8 lens. Yes, Sony has a few of these. They have a OSS or optically stabilized 50mm for APS-C cameras. And they also just released the new 50mm f1.2, their widest aperture, and it's a G Master. That one ranges about $2,000, I think. So between the OSS, which is $300 to $350, the full frame, that's $250, and the 50mm 1.2 at $2,000, where does this sit in terms of quality? Well, I'm going to specifically talk about video in this. Of course, I'm gonna highlight photos, but why this lens is still good for video. But before we do, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss my videos. Then we can sit back, chillax, and see what's cracking. Now let's get into the video. The 50mm, a great entry point for photography and, in my opinion, videography. Yes, 35mm is like the typical approach to video, or even wider for that matter. I like using my 85 for video as well to really get that punch in look. But the 50mm is a very nice sweet spot to really hone your skills in terms of video, and it's a very good look for photos. The 1.8 is very soft. I won't say very, but it is soft because it is wider, but it still maintains a good look for photos. I like using this lens when my 85 is not on it. I'm kind of stuck though between the 50 and the 85 because I don't have any lenses, you know, on the wider end outside of my Sigma 16. I need to get a 35 or even like the 20 to 24mm. I mean, shoot, Sony also just dropped the 40mm G lens, so I do need to open up my scope in terms of lenses from that perspective. But I use my 50 or the 85 when I shoot photos and videos. And the reason why this is still a great lens for video, I think it's actually underrated for video, is because you still get a very good you get very good quality out of this lens. Focus hunting isn't as bad as what people say in terms of this lens. As a matter of fact, especially if you lock in focus, if you're using manual focus, you're not gonna have a problem. But the autofocus still works very well with this lens, and you get a very crisp look. Now, of course, when you're shooting with a Sony a7 III, and I'm sure any camera before that one, when you're shooting at 1080p, it's going to be softer in general. So if you want to use a picture profile, or you want to use a creative style and you want to bump up your sharpness, you'll actually get more of a crisper look with 1080p. But when you're shooting 4K with this lens works wonders for video. Now, why do people harp on this lens so much, or I won't say avoid, but they talk bad about this lens a lot? Well, I'm going to demonstrate why, but it doesn't hinder video, especially when you don't need to use sound. And I'm going to demonstrate that with the Sony a6100. Right now I got the Pancake 16 to 50 on it, so upon removing this one, pop that one off, and then I'm gonna pop the 50mm on. This is exactly why it's not a great lens when you have to use autofocus and you need to use sound from the video, or sound nonetheless, you know, with a mic or something involved. Now, here we go. Once I turn it on, you're probably gonna be able to hear it. Can you hear that? If you can hear that through my mic right there, that also lets you know how loud the motor actuators is within the focus system of the lens. Sony did not use high quality motors for this, and that's why it's very loud. The 85, of course, Sigma 16, I think even pretty much any other lens, especially when you start stepping up in quality or cost for the lens, the motor actuators are way better. The 50mm in terms of sound, not that great for video. If you need to use this lens for autofocus and you need to use sound from that video clip that you're shooting, not that great of a lens to use. You might be able to denoise it or something like that in post, but in terms of needing video sound, and using this lens is probably going to get in your way. It might hinder the overall quality of that video that you're shooting. Now, as I said, this video is underrated for video because outside of that, if you don't need noise, if you just need it for B-roll, this lens is great. You don't have a problem using the 50mm because you get a very good quality shot with this lens, and it's still very, very good for photos. I use this all the time. As you guys can see, I have it on the A6100, which instantly boosts the quality from the APS-C lens because of the quality of glass that you still get with the full frame lens. And it's a great entry point at $250. Now, I've not gotten to use the OSS or the optically stabilized 50mm from Sony, but I know that it's probably going to be good. I may still take this one over just because it's full frame, and best believe when I can, I want to get my hands on the 50mm 1.2. With that being said, have you guys ever used the 50mm 1.8 from Sony? Have you had a ball using it? Have you used it for video? Have you used it for photos? Let me know down in the comment section below. But again, if you guys haven't already, ignite the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss my videos. Then we can sit back, relax, and see what's cracking. It's your man Verso signing out, and until the next video, wait for it.